No more BMW, soon to be no more Harley. Gonna sell the Harley. Shrinking it down, getting it more affordable. Everything on those Harleys expensive. Bike's 15 years old. Same with the BMW, 14-year-old bike. Everything's expensive on it. Look at the cost of any part you want to look at on a Harley or a BMW compared to this bad boy. This is in my budget, so anyway, enough drama with that stuff. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to show you the tail tidy and fender delete on the Interceptor 650, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same on the Continental GT. Now, I have seen these guys changing mufflers out, wrapping the exhaust, doing the thing, making the bike cool. There's a video I shared, or a series of videos I shared, a guy with Tech bike parts, I think, in London, in England. Maybe not London, I don't remember exactly what town they're in. But that guy changed a lot of stuff on that bike. Basically made a scrambler out of it. It was really cool in the video series there. But I've been seeing a lot of stuff like that. I haven't seen anybody do the fender delete. So let's talk about that real quick and do it. Anyway, there's like a legal requirement for reflectors on the signs, and the fenders have to be a long, and you have to have such and such a thing on the deal. Now, some of the requirements are you have to have those requirements to sell the bike, and some of them you have to have them to operate the bike. A light has to be able to shine a license plate. You got to have that. So that's the thing. So you have to have that, even when you're riding it. But some of the stuff, like the long fenders, you don't have to have that stuff. So but they have to put it on there to sell the bike, I think, or it's a legal thing. I don't know. Don't quote me on the law thing. I don't know. But what I do know is everybody, including me, deletes the extended fender on the back. There's a picture of that, and right here, let's give you a better picture of that. The front fender on the thing. What a lot of these manufacturers are doing, and Pete found this on the 701 Husky, and I think a lot of others are moving to this. They're incorporating easy removal. This is what people want, so they're giving it to people, and I think you're going to see them sell a lot more bikes that have this feature than don't. So far as I can tell, what you're going to need is a 10mm combination wrench or a socket on a ratchet. I would just use the combo wrench, and I like these little gear wrenches. Again, not a product endorsement, just stuff I like. I bought these little gear wrenches and I use them at work. I use these in a professional capacity, and then I have some of them are here at home. But we're going to use a 10mm. We're going to use a foot. No jokes about the 10mm, please. Come on. If you don't know where your stuff is, that's you. Anyway, aliens aren't stealing your 10mm sockets, and you're not going to raid Area 51. You're not going to raid Area 51 and find all the 10mm sockets or the single socks. It's not going to happen. So, 10mm wrench for the license plate, 4mm Allen key, okay, and medium Phillips. So far as I can tell, that's what we're going to need. A little bit of fishing line, good thing to have, and some isopropyl alcohol should remove the adhesive. What are you talking about, John? Let's go do the thing and I'll show you. Alright guys, so I figured we'd start with the back. A tool I forgot to mention is you might need some side cutters or some good scissors. And they just started doing these weird plates for the temporaries. I don't know how long ago, it seems like just recently. But people were running the camera red lights, and we can't mess with their source of revenue. They got to be able to give free money off of us somehow. So first things first, these, they have to be on there for them to sell the bike, but they don't have to be on there for me to ride the bike. So, or at least I've never heard of anybody getting a ticket for having them. So this is where that 4mm Allen key is going to come in. And this is one of the reasons I really like. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. That's another thing. They have the ones you flip them to do the thing, and these you flip the little. These you flip the little doohickeys. So we want to loosen. Woohoo! And it works on the other side. You know, once you've got that thing locked in, right? These are nylock. They have a little nylon insert in the head of the nut. If you're not familiar with those, that's what that is. Oh, come on, I'm going to save all this stuff. These have a little nylock insert so that they don't come loose. No lock washers. I really like nylock nuts. I prefer to use them in most applications. Alright, we're going to do this. Well, that thing was ready to come off of there anyway. We're going to put a little more torque on it when we put it back. Alright, there's that thing removed. Oh, good grief. I'll tell you what. Now these are, they do have lock washers. Not my preference, but it's what we got. And I'll tell you what, I'm really hoping these are 10mm as well. Yes, they are. So all we have to do is break that loose. And I'm using my hand to do the ratcheting action on this, okay? Hold the screwdriver tight while you're braking. Just because that was the side that I put on there, was the open end. Come on, dude. What are you fighting me for? See how I'm doing that? I hope you can see. And now that it's loose, I can do this. Alright. So I'm going to pull these off, and I am going to keep them separate from the others. Well, why you do that, John? You don't need to put them back. I don't need to put them back. I don't have to put them back. But I don't want the empty holes there. I want to have the caps of those screws covering that. I think it'll look better. I don't know. So right here is the wire. As you can see, this plastic fender piece goes around that wire. And there's 2 more bolts there. Oh, those are holding the tail light on. Okay. Well, let's see what we got going here. I'm hoping, and I'm wrong, those look like they're 8mm. Let's magically edit to 8mm. Well, 5/16 seems to fit it good enough, so we'll use that. 5/16 for you guys who aren't metrically, or for you guys who don't use the standard system. 5/16 of an inch. And I'm sure it's got a metric equivalent, but, well, how about I put it down here in the thing in the bottom. Just for you metric guys. Alright, we'll set that aside. Now, like I said, if you can see that. Ooh. So those look difficult to get to. Those look like a pain in the butt. Apparently the fender is mounted to the taillight bracket, which is mounted to the deal. So there are a couple of wire connectors in there. I don't really want to mess with that. So what I'm going to do is be really careful not to cut the wire itself. And I'm just going to cut the fender extension piece like that. And then it comes right off. Okay. So that gets rid of that. Put that gasket back around the edge of the tail light. Make sure it's on there good. These are those oh, come on, John. Tell you what, I was over at Pitt the other day and I got the guy that had worked on that job before me zip tied the O-ring for the seal to the plumbing, and I cut it off, and then I immediately fumbled and dropped the damn thing. So I went to the truck, I grabbed one of their brooms off of their wash rack. I went to the truck and I fashioned a thing out of mechanics wire, baling wire. Because of fat fingers, right? I'm just going to put that finger snug so that I can jiggle it around. Oh, come on, dude. Where's the thing? Oh, there you are. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, I did a little fork and I ran my flashlight in. I used a zip tie to hold it all together. I ran my flashlight in there, and that way I could see. And I scooped that O-ring off the bottom of the pit. The water was still clean enough to see. There's only like, you know, half an inch of water in the bottom of that concrete vault. So it was kind of clever for solving a dumb problem that I shouldn't have had in the first place. Alright, here we go. Okay, so like I mentioned, I think it looks kind of cheesy to just have those holes there. On top of the fact, it looks like the screws have kind of indented into this. And this is plastic, this isn't metal. That surprises me, because most of the stuff on this bike is metal. Oh, fat fingers again. Revenge of the fat fingers. Okay. Doop-de-doop. There we go. Once you get it started, it's easy. You're going to run it all the way up to the nylot. Let's do this side. Like I say, I'll probably never put that back on there. I'm spinning the nut, not the screw. Just holding the screw in place. And to the nylon. And now, we're going to flip this back over so that it's on tighten. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line the screws up so that they're in line with the fender, and then crossways. And I'm going to take a little bit of care here to make sure that they're lined up with each other as well. Yeah, right about there. That's not bad at all. That's one of those small details. Nobody will ever see that but me, but I will see it every time I look at it. Now, I don't think that looks half bad, and it certainly looks better than that big dorky floopy doop hanging down there. I never cared for that, and I certainly don't care for that. I don't ride at night that often, so I don't really think it's all that important to have all that reflectivity. So, in the United States, here in the lovely state of California, it took them forever, it seemed, to get this plate. But I will tell you this, it is much improved. It is much improved over what they normally do. They usually take a lot longer. So, good on you folks there at the DMV. You did okay this time. We start that. Run it up to the nylock. Okay. Kind of scattered my washers to the wind, didn't I? That's not cool. Alright. I am fat fingering again. I can't reach around and hold that in place while I get that nut started. So I want that to be centered. What I'm going to do, again, we're still on tighten because we're tightening now, right? I'm going to run this right up to the point where it'll just slide. Oh, too much. Loosen. Okay. And then I'm going to kind of feel this. Oh, nope, not loosened enough. Oh, still not loosened enough. So that's this one. There we go. Okay. Kind of feel this. And then I'm going to look at it. I'm going to push it all the way up. That's pretty good right there. Let's lock it down. I can see that bending that license plate. That's good. I want that. What I'm going to do is double check it now. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's a little bit low on this side. And then I'm going to lock it down. I'm going to sandwich it hard. So, this is where you get your torque. Oh, there we go. And it's completely bent that plate right there. I think a plate frame will be cool, and I will probably do that in the future. Just like that. I don't want the thing coming out. Yeah, it's crushed the whatever that reflective is they put on that. So there you go. There's a couple of different angles you're looking at of the thing. I think that looks a lot better. I think that plate would look even better if it came up a bit. And I think I know how to do that. But that's for another video. That's for another day. Alright, so here we are at the front. I'm just going to stick my finger under there, and hopefully I don't need a wrench. No, so far no. And this is, I'll tell you what, getting your finger up in there is a tight fit. Now this doesn't have nylocks. This has a, I'll get in front of it eventually here. This has a star type flat washer. So that's what's locking that thing in place. I'll tell you, those work. They work okay. I fully expect that to fail. And I will probably get ahead of that and order a few replacement screws. Now I'm pushing that nut all the way up. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, you can't. So that the head of the screw is not rubbing on that fender. I started to let that happen there, but I don't want that to be like that. If needs be, I can always go down and get, I'm going to catch this. Oh, there we go, all three pieces. I'm going to go down and get better looking hardware at some point for this, but oh, don't scratch your fender. Did you see that? That stupid okay, and whoop. All three pieces, please. There you go. All right. There we go. So that's that piece off. I think that looks way better. Okay. Last but not least, spin that nut. That exhaust pipe would be right in the way, wouldn't it? Whew, hopefully you can still see that. Yeah, you can. Good enough anyway. My fat hand wasn't in the way. Alright, that looks like that's lined up to me. Just looking at the head of the screwdriver. And sure enough, it's pretty good. Not bad at all. Oh, so there you go. That, as they say, is that. I think that looks a lot better. I think those studs back there look a little bit silly, but I think it looks a hell of a lot better than just having empty holes. So that is the fender done. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look horrible. Most people would never notice that. Alright, let me get all my spare pieces here all rounded up. Get the tools picked up. Stick all this stuff back in the drawers where it goes. That's alright, I got another piece right here. Some very fine string. Best is fishing wire. If you've got fishing wire, that's what's best. So I'm going to wrap that down there, and I am just going to do this number. Whoop. And that comes right off. Now, if I'm boring you guys, all 20 of you that might be watching, look at that. Safety third. Skip on forward, or skip on out. I don't blame you. This isn't the most exciting thing, which is probably why most of the other guys haven't done this video. Most of the other guys jump straight to getting the exhaust changed out, stuff like that, and that is all stuff I plan on doing. But first, let's see how that did. First, I am on a crusade to lower my monthly expenditures, my bills. That paint didn't like being rubbed. So we're going to go a little bit gentler. So here we are on the other side. Again, you saw those scuffs on the paint. I'm going to go a little bit softer this time. Ooh, that was barely even on there. It's got some dirt in between it. Not very good. Not very good. That's kind of poor quality right there, guys. So this might be the first time you hear me excusing something quality, on account of, look at what you paid for it, you know. You can see the dirt in there. There was not very much of that whole net on anyways. I don't care for that. I don't care for that at all. But I'm okay with it because it was coming off anyway. So yeah, I went a lot softer there. I don't see any scuffing in the paint. But man, I think that looks just so much better. That license plate could come up. What I'll do is I'll measure the distance between here and here, and then I will make a little piece of flat bar with 2 holes in it, and then we'll just move that up. Yeah, I think that'll look good. But that doesn't look bad with those like that. I don't think that looks bad at all. I hope you can see that. I'm using the phone to do this. Man, I think that just looks so much better. Got my Banksy Panda. I can't get videos to upload to BitChute. I don't know what the heck's wrong with it. I don't know what the heck is wrong with it. Yeah, that looks good. That looks real good. I'm very happy with that. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I think it does. All right. Let's sit down and talk about it. Salud, muchachos. Esta es la tequila Lun Azul Blanco. Lun Azul Blanco. Esa la máquina. Esta es la máquina más fina. Esta es la tequila más fina. It's a decent tequila. It's not great, but it's all right. It's inexpensive. I like that, but it's not cheap. It is 100% agave. It is muy delicioso. Anyway, that and iced tea, some sweet tea. So, wrap it up. Got my number plate on. Got my fender delete done. Rocking it. Life is good. And I like the look of that. I'm looking at some of the finishes on this where there's a little rubbing, like on the kickstand, and the paint's coming off really easy. There are some things on here that are plastic that surprised me. I didn't think those fenders would be plastic, but they are. I'm not upset, just surprised. And I'm thinking the finishes on this aren't going to hold up too great, but time will tell. Anyway, that's the fender delete done. We'll get into the exhaust and some other things later down the road, and yeah, catch you on the next one.